The American Action Forum estimates it would take 20 years and cost between $400 and $600 billion to deport all the people who are here without documentation. Maybe, Mr. Lazarus, do you think there's a duty by Congress to appropriate that much money to enforce this law?
Congressman, I'm sorry, I didn't quite understand the question.
Do we have a duty to appropriate all the money it would take to deport all these people who are here, as some say, illegally?
No, I certainly don't think so.
Right, and I think the answer is kind of obvious. And what we do is if Ms. Lofgren's previous comments were right, 4%, about $1.2 billion.
Probably high, actually.
What we do is we tell the president, here's the amount of money that we want to. We don't want to spend more on deporting these people than we do on transportation, for instance. We're going to give you $1.2 billion. You figure out the best way to enforce the law given that budget. Isn't that what we do?
Yes, but I also think that is true, but it's not as if the president makes up what the enforcement priorities are going to be out of thin air.
Right.
The priorities that are reflected in DAPA are common sense priorities. They've been developed over decades. They've been developed, as I said, in a dialogue that's ongoing between Congress and the immigration enforcement officials and the department. And they're sensible priorities. Nobody really disputes them. I think a number of members have already said that. So saying that the president is running around making things up and so forth and exercising huge amounts of untrammeled discretion just is really not accurate.
Right.
These are common sense priorities. Congress has said, as you just said, we're going to give you this much money. Right. We want you to figure out what the priorities are, but we're going to give you a lot of guidance as to what we think they should be.
Right. And then also someone used the term looking in the mirror. I would just say that in 2013, the Senate passed the bill 68-32 with significant bipartisan support, not just one or two people, not just 8 people, as someone referred to the Gang of 8, that included a lot of things that would deal with the immigration law, give Congress the chance to deal with it. The Senate passed it. We never even got a vote on it. So all of us may have different views about what the right answer was. We never even took it up in this House of Representatives. We were not allowed even to talk about it. And yet we sit here and complain that the president has taken on too much power. That would have provided a 13-year path to citizenship. If you were in the U.S. before 2012, had no felony, had a job, paid a $500 fine, application fees, all back taxes. It would have provided a legislative pathway to citizenship for dreamers. If you're in the U.S. before 16, high school degree, have been in the U.S. for 5 years. E-Verify, which is something that a lot of folks have been calling on to make sure that we're getting enforcement, would have allowed a greater number of H-1B visas for highly skilled workers, which a lot of us agree on, and it would provide substantial border security, $46 billion in improvements, 38,000 border security agents on the Mexico border, a 17,000 increase, 350 miles of new fencing, new technology, cameras, ground sensors, radiation detectors, drones, helicopters, and electronic exit checking at air and seaports. All of this was before us as a legislature, and if we want to know where the problem is, it's not down the street, it's in the halls of the United States Congress. I yield back.